Here are 5 reasons why used Mercedes are so cheap. Reason number 1 is there's so many of them. You go on AutoTrader right now, there's over 52,000 used Mercedes for sale. How about this 2008 Mercedes for $925? Too cheap? No problem. Get this 2013 for $1,000 more. Mercedes has so many models and variants for their sedans, their coupes, their SUVs, thousands of options to pick from. Every car for every type of buyer. This used E400 you could buy for under $20,000. A brand new one, 90+ thousand for this 2025 E450. Why buy new when the depreciation gods have so heavily blessed Mercedes? Magical Mercedes pricing awaits you with this 3-pointed star. The most expensive new Mercedes for sale right now, in case you're curious, a $342,000 Mercedes Maybach. But don't worry, in a few years, the 6-digit Maybach will be worth 5 digits. Just cross out the 3, a $42,000 Mercedes. If you want your money to disappear in the fastest possible manner, buy a brand new Mercedes. Reason number 2 is air suspension. There's no question that higher-end Mercedes has incredible ride quality. Very smooth, luxurious, glides over all kinds of bumps, and that's because of its air suspension. The older Mercedes are notorious for air suspension failures. Either the air compressor goes out or some other component. It ends up being a very costly repair. That's why sometimes you end up seeing $2,000 old S-Classes that look like lowriders. If you only pay a few $100s to buy a car, there's no way you're gonna pay 10 grand to fix the suspension. But you know, slammed cars are a thing. That's an easy way to ride around in one. There's so much that can break, and Mercedes is not known to hold back on technology. Depending on the kinds of option you get, you could have so much technology. The massaging seats could stop massaging you. 63-way adjusting seats could only end up being 2. And when all the tech breaks on your cheaply bought Merc, it's gonna be an expensive repair bill. If you are going to get an older Mercedes, make sure you get one with fewer sensors. Less likely you're gonna be stuck with huge repair costs. Reason number 4 is that the interior starts to fall apart on these things. This is a 2018 and the belt doesn't fully retract back in. And then you can see how the seat's starting to wear out. As these cars start to age, the door panel and the trim, they all start to melt away. All that glitters is certainly not gold. Not all of it's bad. There's certainly high quality materials in here and the fit generally is pretty good, but there are cheap parts that start to degrade. These AC vents, for instance, are pretty cheap to the feel. They're probably gonna break not too long from now. This panel has a cheap feel to it also. In some of the C-Class Mercedes that are very cheaply made, you're gonna encounter some crazy issues. This specific E-Class though is holding up pretty well even after 7 years of existence with 82,000 miles. This automatic seat pull-up could decide to stop working someday. Reason number 5 used Mercedes are so cheap is because of maintenance cost. These are very complicated engines with a lot of engineering, and they don't make it easy to repair things. They make it very complicated to get to things, so oil changes on these kinds of cars are so expensive along with regular maintenance. I know this from experience. With my Porsche 911 and the Macan, just basic service cost me thousands of dollars, and that wasn't even done at the dealer. Standard service on the 911, $1,500. On a typical Honda or Toyota, so much cheaper. But the difference between the 911 and a Mercedes is my 911 probably will go up in value. This one, on the other hand, I'll have to pay somebody to take it a few years from now. But not all Mercedes are worthless. This 2014 SLS AMG Black Series is worth over $1 million. Brakes and rotors are also going to be very expensive. You can tell just by looking at it. These are going to be way different from what you put on your Corolla or Civic. Performance machines like this are pricey. AMG, 2x or 3x the cost. So does this all mean that you're doomed if you buy a used Mercedes? Of course not. Just look at how beautiful this 2018 E400 is. Mercedes has some of the best prestige styling of any car out there, and people love them. There's a reason why the 3-pointed star is so universally admired. There's of course a lot of junky used Mercedes out there, but if you do your homework, you find one that's well maintained with few owners, you will be happy with your used Mercedes purchase. And the coolest part of all is these cars look way more expensive than they are to buy in the used market. Pay $20,000 for this, but it looks and feels like a $100,000 car. Just have $10,000 set aside to fix that faulty air suspension.